At 5, erratic behavior on the rise on the streets of Portland as police try to deal with a drug thought to be on the decline that is now surging once again.
Methamphetamine is making a big comeback right now in Maine's largest city. CBS 13's Brad Rogers looks at the reasons why and what makes meth so harmful to those who use it.
On the streets of Portland, people with substance use disorder tell us meth is their new drug of choice.
Money, really. It's a money thing, and
meth is cheaper.
It's cheaper to make.
Methamphetamine is a highly addictive synthetic stimulant that goes by many names.
They call it crank and speed.
Short-term effects include feelings of euphoria as the drug causes the brain to release feel-good neurotransmitters like dopamine.
For me, it gives me energy. It allows me to stay more focused and centered. And it's just kind of like a freeing feeling of your emotions.
But long-term use causes insomnia, anxiety, hallucinations, memory loss, and a rapid or irregular heartbeat.
You're much more at risk for stroke and heart attack, wounds and abscesses. People can develop paranoia.
It's that behavior police are often called to respond to on the streets.
So they can be in the park, stripped out of their clothes, hitting themselves, bouncing off of walls.
We met Libby, an admitted meth user on Oxford Street in Portland. She told us about her hallucinations and showed us where she scratches frantically at scabs to rid herself of what doctors call hallucinatory meth bugs.
There's some kind of parasite or living organism that's in the ice that destroys and deteriorates the body from the inside out. I've been around drugs and doing drugs off and on all my life, and I've never experienced anything like this.
According to police, meth makes up 30% of drugs on the street right now. So why, after years of successfully stemming meth use, has Portland suddenly seen a rise? They say when the focus shifted to cracking down on opioids, dealers turned back to a cheaper and easier alternative.
$5 gets you $5 or whatever you like.
0.2 grams, it's like the tip of a pencil, can get someone high up to almost 8 hours.
It's readily available. 3.5 grams of what they call a ball is roughly around like $80.
How long does that last then?
Not long.
Even Portland police are surprised by how much meth is on the street or in homeless encampments.
You wouldn't necessarily think someone that lives in a tent would have $10,000 of methamphetamine, and they have books that show there's $5,000 or $10,000 of product on the street, essentially IOUs. So those are concerning to us.
What's equally concerning is people with substance use disorder often combine meth with opioids, cocaine, and other illegal drugs, making it hard for first responders to figure out what they're on.
They might have cocaine, they might have spice, they might have meth. It's a real smorgasbord.
One minute they're jonesing, they're almost falling asleep, and the next minute they're erratic and acting irrational.
Meth is not just a homeless or a Portland problem. Drug treatment centers say the vast majority of Mainers being treated for meth are not homeless. Police say meth is also responsible for the recent spike in overdoses.
April 2025, we responded to more overdoses than any other month in the previous 5 years.
Numbers from the state medical examiner show while overdose deaths are down, meth is now found in nearly a third of those deaths.
Maine leads New England in the amount of overdose fatalities where meth is involved.
We got a bunch of soulless people walking around these streets. It's either all about money or drugs.
New at 6, what's being done to stop the flow of meth in Maine, plus an unusual treatment program that, oddly enough, actually works. In Portland, Brad Rogers, CBS 13 News.
First at 6, a dangerous drug causing hallucinations and frantic behavior is making a comeback in Maine.
As we've been reporting, meth use is again on the rise, especially in Portland. CBS 13's Brad Rogers shows us what's being done to stop the flow.
Plus, a unique treatment that seems to be working.
Meth as a means of escape. Users we spoke with say they use the drug to avoid their harsh reality.
When you live in these streets and you deal with people on a day-to-day basis that treat you like and make you feel less than, I mean, you're really just, you're gonna escape more.
Libby says meth allows her to do that.
You don't have to worry about anything because you don't have that feeling of care.
In the last 6 weeks, state and local police found meth, cocaine, and fentanyl in a dozen drug busts. But police and experts agree we can't arrest our way out of the drug crisis. That's where Hope Squad comes in.
Make sure they understand that someone sees them.
Matt Brown and his wife founded Hope Squad 3 years ago. They offer food, clothing, and a kind word to people with substance use disorder.
I can't get them an apartment. I can't fix their medical issues or their mental health issues, but they need someone to be consistently there for them to remind them that they matter out here.
Bill Burns is substance use liaison for Portland Police. He also tries to reach people with addictions.
We talk about what their dreams are, right? And what are the things that are standing in the way of that?
He and Matt Brown say wait lists to get someone into treatment is one of the biggest challenges.
There's not a bed available more often than not.
It's easier to get drugs than it is to get treatment.
People in recovery for a meth addiction agree.
There's a narrow gap of opportunity where people have the gift of desperation, in my experience, that they want to change and that they're interested in seeking help.
People really want help and they want to stop using it. Methamphetamine is a terrible drug.
Maine Health now has drug treatment centers in Portland, Norway, and Brunswick, where they see hundreds of people a week. With opioids, there are drugs to reverse the effects of an overdose and drugs to wean people off it. Meth has none of those. But Maine Health has a treatment program specifically for meth. Here's how it works. Every time someone comes in, a blood screen is taken. And if it's negative, they get a reward.
If they don't have cocaine or methamphetamine in their urine, then they get incentivized by getting a gift card. It's a little external reward for people doing something that's very hard.
And it works?
And it has great evidence behind it. Programs like contingency management are very effective.
68 people are now enrolled in the program at the Portland location. Dr. Hipkin says VA clinics have been doing this for years with great success.
The theory is that it can actually help with kind of rewiring of your dopamine circuit.
Treatment on demand is something we should be pushing for in the state of Maine for every citizen who's interested in getting treatment.
But Libby, who lost a son to a drug overdose and admits to addiction herself, says treatment is a choice only users can make.
You're not getting clean until you're ready to get clean.
In Portland, Brad Rogers, CBS 13 News.